What's up, DC Nation? Welcome back to another video. And guys, like the video, get a big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe because I always great DC content every day that you don't want to miss. Now guys, today I'm explaining and reviewing Hawkman Found #1. Now this is pretty much like an interlude issue in this Dark Knight's Metal saga. It's kind of filler. It's very similar to like the Batman Lost one, where we find out where Hawkman's been this whole time. Because what happened was Hawkman, way back in the past, he was trying to figure out about his life because he was killed by Nithmel and he kept coming back. Every time somebody would kill him, he would pretty much be reincarnated, and he wanted to figure this out. And over this whole series, we're trying to figure out what Nithmel is and how it like kind of fills in the gaps of the universe. Now, he's been going on this quest with Hawkgirl, and he was writing a journal about he's going to different people. He assembled a group of people, and he actually found the Wizard of Shazam. Now, the Wizard of Shazam gave him this dagger Shazam. He used it to open up the darkness. He saw through it, and they eventually fought Barbatos, and then he kind of separated from Hawkgirl. Now, he fought Barbatos in the past. He actually beat Barbatos. And then Barbatos planned out something different and used Batman as a vessel. But that was a whole separate story in Batman Lost. But here what we're seeing is when Hawkman finally figured out a way to make it to the Dark Multiverse, he went on his own. He went through like a portal and it was never seen again. And now what happened, we found out in Dark Knight's Metal #4, when Superman and Batman traveled to the World Forge to pretty much meet this person. And what this person does is create worlds, find stable worlds, and pretty much sends the unstable ones to the Dark Multiverse. Well, that was originally, it was pretty much just to destroy these unstable worlds, but Barbatos used these unstable worlds and built a whole Dark Multiverse out of it. But here, we actually found out that Hawkman is the new World Forger, and he's stuck here. He can't get out, Barbatos has trapped him, and he's stuck in like this mindset somewhere else. And in this issue, we find out what he's been going through. We find out where he's been, and the nightmares and dreams he's been going through, similar to Batman Lost's issue, where we find out where Batman has been in Dark Multiverse, what nightmares he's been going through, and how he's going to figure out a way to get out. So that's pretty much what this issue is, where Hawkman's been, and what he's been doing. So, enough of this intro, let's get to Hawkman Found #1. So guys, first off, we got this dope cover. Look at that. We got pretty much Hawkman down. He's like in this cool pose. And then above him is pretty much his new form with the big World Forger axe. And guys, look at that. Like, look at his new look. He's like all powerful. Like, it's crazy. But we open up the issue and we see Hawkman flying. And he says he's like dreaming. He dreams of being a hero. He's fighting off for the greater good. And he's actually succeeding. He's flying. He's going to make it to freedom. And if he makes it to freedom, he pretty much wakes up and he can actually fight off Barbatos and pretty much win the day. Like, he could save the DC Universe, do a lot of good stuff. But as he's flying, he then actually wakes up as he's falling to the ground. He crash lands, and then we find out what he's been doing. Because what happened was, he was dreaming I was flying, but then once he woke up, now he's stuck at the bottom of this mountain. And we see him, he's pretty much having a fire, he's growing a beard, he's trying to find out a way to get up there. And we see all these people in captive, and he's one of them. So pretty much all these people, initially this is what I thought, are in captive in the Dark Multiverse just like him, or stuck in the World Forge. And he's trying to figure out a way to free them all and free himself. So what happens, we see this like Hawkman, and we see like multitude of them. We see them all show up, and each day take one of these people down with Kara Hall, and they just take them somewhere else that we don't know. So they're gone, and Hawkman Carter is like, I need to find a way to get up there and beat these Hawkmen and pretty much go to freedom. So he pretty much goes against one of these Hawkmen, he dismantles them, he beats them up, and then he can't fly up there. Each time he tries to fly up there, he doesn't make it. He keeps crashing down. So what he decides to do is he pretty much sees these Hawkmen fly up to his ship. So he's like, I gotta get up there. So he starts just climbing this mountain. This guy is just climbing this huge mountain, keeps going. He's like, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna make it. He's like, this time I failed in the past, but I'm gonna pretty much conquer my fear, conquer my failures, and make it to the top. So he gets there, and then eventually he actually gets to the ship, and he jumps off the mountain, makes it on the ship, and he gets in there, and he's pretty much like, okay, I made it, I can't fail now, I made it this far. And he sees actually his armor, and he actually suits up as Hawkman. But before he can get his fully suited up, he gets his mace. And guys, as we remember, his mace is made out of Nithmel. Same with like Deathstroke's armor. Deathstroke's armor is actually made out of Promethium. So different like metals throughout the DC universe have actually been in heroes' armor and different DC characters like armor they use. And we haven't seen that this whole time. But finally, this story is explaining that. So right here, we see him with his mace. We see him with like his wings finally. But then he's attacked by the Chief Hawkman on the ship. And guys, this Chief, he's pretty evil. Like, he just starts attacking Hawkman, and he's saying, oh, I'm going to go after Conjure, I'm going to go after everyone you love. Similar to what Barbatos said in Batman Lost, #1. Now, he's saying this, and Hawkman pretty much acts like Hawkman. He beats up this guy, beats him down, and he actually wins. And as he's about to, like, he explains to him, I'm Hawkman, I fought many wars. Like, he's actually fought against Aminar Sin, different beings who have went against like Thanagar Prime. Now, if we remember, Thanagar Prime is where Hawkman and Harkon are from, and they pretty much led like a whole army of Hawkmen. And every time this like planet was in danger from like Aminar Sin and all these villains, he would fight them off and he would win. So he's explaining that I was never being, I'm never going to be being. And what we remember though is in the last issue we saw Aminar Sin, and he's actually taking over Thanagar Prime. So that's actually a spot that Hawkman lost. But here we see him beat up this Chief. That Chief is beating. He beats up all these different Hawkmen, and he gets through. And finally, he takes his wings. He goes up and he flies up in the sky, and he's feeling freedom. He's like, I'm gonna reach it. All these people are gonna be free. I can finally do what I've been wanting to do and pretty much save and figure out what this Nithmel is and come to a conclusion. And guys, it's been a long time. He's been going after this for thousands of years, and he's like, finally, I'll get there. But as he's flying, he finally remembers the nightmare, and he starts crashing down to Earth, and he's like, no, I was so close to freedom. And he reaches the ground, and then we pretty much shift to the World Forge, and we see him as like this all-powerful being right here, and pretty much he's stuck. He keeps going to the same time loop of flying up to freedom, trying to free everyone. And honestly, I think these people that he's captive with and they're taken with the Hawkmen, those are actually not other people trapped with them. That was just like a mind game that Barbatos is playing with them. So he's pretty much stuck in like this mind loop of, oh, I'm gonna get free, oh, nightmare, I crashed down, I'm gonna get free, crash down, back and forth for thousands of years, and he needs someone else to pretty much free him. And that's where pretty much Hawkgirl, Wonder Woman will come into play as we go on with this series in this big Dark Knight's Metal saga. But that's how the issue ends, and it says continue in Dark Knight's Metal #5, and that's where Hawkman's been, guys. It's not a lost story. Like, there's a lot more story in Batman Lost because they had like a tribute to his history with like the chemical incident and what was going on. And we saw like that rivalry between Barbatos and Batman, where here all it's showing is Hawkman stuff. He's just in this time loop. He can't get out and he needs help. That's all it is, and he's controlled by Barbatos as the World Forger, and he's stuck. Like, we need the World Forger, Hawkman, to beat Barbatos. We need him to build, like, Nithmel, and that's the only thing to beat Barbatos. And if he's stuck here, and if he can't free himself, then the DC Universe is lost. So that's what this issue's about. It's pretty good, and with the explained part of this issue down, let's get to my review on Hawkman Found, #1. Now guys, this issue was pretty solid. I actually really liked it, because I thought I wouldn't, because Hawkman, he's not one of my favorite characters. He's a good character, but he's nowhere near like Superman, Batman, and I feel like people usually like forget about him, and I actually do too. But here it actually really, it makes me like his character. Like, yeah, he's trying to strive to get freedom, he's trying to release himself, and he's fighting for the greater good. It's actually pretty cool, and his costume's just dope. Like, Hawkman looks cool. And guys, Bryan Hitch kills in this issue with his art. Like, Bryan Hitch's art, I'm not usually a fan of. Like, yeah, I know he do amazing art. He's done amazing art at Marvel and DC at times. But at this time when this issue came out, for years, his artwork was kind of lazy. Like in the Justice League Rebirth comic, like the intro of that, his art did not look that good. Like, it actually looked kind of sloppy. I didn't like it. And I was like, okay, it pretty much shows that his good days where he was doing great art is over. Like, he had his heyday. but here it shows that he still got it. He still has great art, and he can still pretty much deliver like the art that we're used to. That's like, okay, Dark Knight's Metal needs like this epic and amazing art, and Bryan Hitch does it. And yes, it fits with the story very well. It's very solemn. It's very like he's going to freedom. And that one page where Hawkman's pretty much ascending, you think he's finally going to fly up to freedom, is drawn so well. Like, guys, look at that right there. It just looks so amazing. Bryan Hitch conveys it so well. And guys, Jeff Lemire, it's a perfect like writer for Bryan Hitch. Like, he writes it so well, he structures it well, and how it comes together by the end with like the time loop is very well done. Like, Jeff Lemire does some great comics with Green Arrow, Joe Grease, done a lot of great stuff, and here he does it again with this standalone issue. And I kind of wish he did more stories like interlude issues for Dark Knight's Metal, but this issue alone is worth it. So guys, this is a great issue. It's not one to be skipped. Like, yeah, you could skip and just say, okay, Hawkman's the World Forger, he's been stuck somewhere, he can't get free, he needs help. That's pretty much it. But reading it shows like Hawkman's mindset and how he's feeling and where he's been this entire time. It's actually pretty interesting, guys. I like it, and the same with Batman Lost #1. Yes, you could skip it, but it's worth reading, and it's really great writing and really great art. So yeah, guys, I'm overall going to give this issue an 8.5 out of 10. Definitely recommend it. It's a great issue. And yeah, guys, with the explain and review out of this issue, let's get to Dark Knight's Metal #5.